Hey, you're listening to Wrestling Roundup, FreeFM 89.0, Grady Hooker. We'll jump straight into this day in history for the 7th of February. There's not actually that much. In the Monday Night Wars in 2000, Nitro ended with Jeff Jarrett screwing Scott Hall out of a WCW Championship match and gave the win to Sid Vicious. Over on Raw, a massive 10-man main event fell into chaos, and after the match, even more people joined the fray before Kane returned and cleared the ring to stand tall at the end of Raw. And in 2011, we got a WWE Raw. John Cena low blows CM Punk to lose the match, by DQ. But then Jerry the King Lawler helped John Cena clear the Nexus and CM Punk with a steel chair. So that's all we got for this day in history. We'll jump into our classic entrance theme of the week. It's one from the Attitude Era. It's Ken Shamrock. And you're back with the Wrestling Roundup, FreeFM 89.0, Grady Hooker, and in the studio joining me I've got Phid.
Hey.
It's been a long time since you've been on.
It has been. I've been a busy boy.
Yeah, with your own show.
Yeah, we've got the own show and we've got our own YouTube show and stuff going as well now, so...
Gotta give the listeners a link, or?
Yeah, why not? Hashtag me.co.nz. You can check out our podcast and our YouTube show and everything else on web tech and geekery.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we'll jump into Raw. It started off with The Authority. They set the Elimination Chamber match with Orton in it.
Yeah, the kickoff was to be expected. I think they could not start off Raw without addressing the big elephant in the room that was left over from... the pay-per-view.
Yeah, the fact of Brian.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the pay-per-view ended quite hot.
Yeah, I think everyone was quite annoyed they didn't get any more Brian.
Well, exactly. Although he wasn't booked in it, it's not unknown for someone early on in the pay-per-view to come back for the Rumble, especially one of a big name.
Yeah.
However, we were also told Ray was going to be in it. Ray hadn't come in.
Yeah.
Number 30 was going to be Ray.
I know while we're doing there, I was counting it. It could have been Xavier Woods, since he did get removed last minute.
Yeah, well, that's a good point as well.
But I don't think it would have been Xavier.
If you're going to bump anybody, you'd think one of the newbies would have been the ones who got bumped. But this build-up to this match, I actually didn't see this match coming.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll see how it's going to go.
Yeah. Okay. Well, the opening match, Sin Cara teamed with Ray to take on the Real Americans.
Sin Cara B.
H for Hunico.
Yeah. Yeah. I actually found this Raw had a lot of filler.
Yeah.
There wasn't a lot going back on, wasn't as big as I would have expected after the Rumble. We're now on the road to WrestleMania. It could have been a really hot show.
I think we're actually just on the road to splitting up a bunch of tag teams.
Exactly. Which sucks because we were on the road to building up a great tag division. We haven't had a good tag division in years.
And they decide to ruin it all.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you've got the Real Americans.
Yep.
Who surprisingly work as a good tag team.
Yeah.
I didn't think they were going to work, but they're working.
Tons of Funk split.
Yeah, exactly. They've split up. You've got, an entire thing. You've even brought back the old boys as well, which is cool.
Yeah. But you don't know how long they'll stick around for either.
Exactly. They've usually got a fairly short use-by date on these old guys when they come back.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
What do you think of the Bad News Barrett gimmick?
I can't stand it.
Yep, okay. You're in the boat with everyone else.
Yeah, I think it's a horrible gimmick. I thought when they brought Barrett back, they brought him back quite strong.
Yeah.
The first time they brought him back,
With the Barrett Barrage.
Yeah, exactly, the Barrett Barrage. It was saying that it was almost going back to that character he was building back in NXT.
Yeah.
With the jacket and the little flower and the bad attitude and stuff, he had that gimmick that he had built.
Yeah.
They took that off him as they usually do. And now we end up with this horrible... It's trying to cater to the Twitter market.
Yeah.
But it's doing so horribly. I mean, if you watch Twitter during it, people are just taking the piss out of him.
You know he's going to say the same thing. He's going to go up. He's going to bang, 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 decorum, blah, blah.
Bad news for you.
You're losers. You suck. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Bang, bang, bang. Goodbye.
Chippy. It's a cheap heat spot.
Up next, Fandango took on R-Truth, but we saw some more Emma in the crowd.
Yes, I'm loving the fact that Emma's coming through.
Yeah.
Okay, she may not be a Kiwi, but she's the closest thing we have to Southern Hemisphere, Australasian.
We'll steal her.
Yeah, we'll claim her. We claim people all the time.
Yep.
And she's a great wrestler. She's a great character, and I think these Fandango. Sorry, I don't want him butting in and correcting me. The Fandango gimmick being used to bring her in, I think, is going to be cool.
Yeah.
I'm not the biggest fan of Fandango, as we've said on the show before.
Yeah.
In fact, me and Josh have argued about it
I
lot.
think you have.
But yeah, I think it's going to be a great way to bring her in. I can't
Right.
wait to see her in action.
Up next, Brad Maddox had Randy Orton out, but they got interrupted quite often, and Lesnar seems to be throwing his weight around a little bit.
Yeah, Lesnar, he's becoming, where are they putting him?
I've heard he's run out of his dates on his contract.
Already?
Yeah, that they...
I did hear the same thing happen last year, though.
It seems weird that they'd squander one on Raw just to have him come out, do a segment, and not wrestle.
Yeah.
So...
I wondered whether we were going to actually get a wrestling match.
I could have seen both of the ones he asked for. Maybe not for the title.
No,
but
I don't think it would have been a title shot. But, I mean, maybe this time of year, maybe the time to actually have Lesnar fight for free, you
Yeah.
know. Those were air quotes there.
Fair enough. Up next we got the Battle of Cleveland, Ziggler versus Miz.
Cheap pop filler.
It was like the first time Ziggler's been announced from Cleveland, though.
Oh, was it? I have actually never noticed that.
I think he's billed from Hollywood.
Okay, whereas online and stuff, like off the show,
Yeah.
it's well known he's from Cleveland. Well, the thing is, WWE on their website have even had him. They had an article with him and The Miz going to Cleveland games as Cleveland fans. So I think they're starting to get to a point now where they're having to acknowledge reality a bit more.
Yeah.
We're in the social media age where they can say something on the show, yet we can go to their Instagram and see otherwise. They've done the same thing with Daniel Bryan and Brie Bella,
Yeah.
where they ignored it for so long, but they had a shared Instagram account.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Up next, the Usos continue their role by steamrolling over Rybaxel. Or is it Axelback?
Oh, who knows? That is a tag team that's just going to be...
Why didn't we break them up?
Exactly, of all the ones to break up, yeah, those guys, they should there.
Hopefully it's the Usos' time in the
I
tag
think
division.
so. The Usos are a great tag team. It's taken them a long time to get the fans behind them, but man, they've got the fans right behind them now, and it's great. It's awesome. And they're another one that we can almost claim as Kiwis. They're Islanders.
Almost.
They've got massive connections to this country, though.
Including their theme song.
Exactly, that's the big one. But they've got massive connections. That entire family are massively connected to New Zealand.
We'll just claim the whole family then.
Why not?
No Americans are here to stop us.
Exactly. We haven't got anyone via satellite this week.
Up next, Kingston took on Alberto Del Rio, but the fans really did not care for the match.
Yeah, but this is a going theme at the moment, isn't it?
Hijacking crowds.
Yeah, hijacking crowds. That's another conversation that, I mean, if I believe on the website there's going to be an article about this.
I think by the time this airs, there'll be an article on it, yep.
Yeah, I'm pro the fans getting really involved. I think it's going to get WWE to be a bit more creative with how they do things.
Yeah.
But also, WWE has a way of taking something horrible and making it become something brilliant.
True.
We've got a massively involved crowd at the moment. They want to have their voices heard. Let them. Work out a way of getting that noise and making it positive. You look at the 90s with Yes. Oh no, What, sorry.
Yeah.
What was the crowd trying to get involved?
Fair enough.
Let's get them involved again. It's the same with Daniel Bryan chants.
Yeah.
No, we want to put our hands in the air and start yelling yes.
Fair enough. You're pro hijacking. I think Josh is anti-hijacking.
Yeah, he's very much anti-hijacking.
And Brandon has hijacked, being a part of the post-WrestleMania 29 crowd in New Jersey. So
see, and that's the best show of the year. I think it's now better than WrestleMania.
Fair enough.
If I was going to go over to a Mania match, I would not go unless I could get tickets to Raw the next night.
Fair enough. Up next, I think they put the tag team titles on the line. You're in a rematch of the pre-show.
Yeah. Yeah. It's I love these guys having the titles again.
Yeah.
Being back in the title scene. I'm an Attitude Era guy.
Fair enough.
And even though they're a bit slower, the boys have still got it.
Yeah. Is it often that we don't get a rematch of the pre-show on the Raw next?
To be honest, I haven't actually paid much attention to that. The biggest thing for me is I was actually expecting the Rhodes brothers, this show, to be where the Rhodeses sort of started fragmenting.
Yeah.
I mean, we had didn't Goldie eliminate Dustin? Thing?
I think Goldust did eliminate Cody.
Cody, sorry, yeah. See, and there was no fallout from there.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to build to them splitting those two up.
I think that's still happening. Lesnar sort of ended the match prematurely before anything could happen, but I've heard they set a rematch between the teams for the titles again next Raw.
Okay, be interesting.
So, could possibly still split them there.
Yeah.
Up next, we had a 8 Diva tag match. Gotta love. I think King said, "How often do we get 8 Divas in the ring?" And everyone's sitting there thinking, every single week.
Yeah, exactly right. Why can't they write for these girls? You've got some good talent in there. You've also got some very subpar talent in there as well. But in the 90s, man, and this is me going back, but it's so true.
Yeah, they at least got stories.
They got awesome angles. I mean, even when you look at, it was only like 5 years ago, you had some good angles with McCool.
Yeah.
Michelle McCool had some great stories.
Yeah.
And they were writing heavily for what was her tag? My brain's just gone too fast. It's early in the morning at the moment. Laycool. Laycool were great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everyone they put them in a program with, they wrote a great story.
True.
And it's the same in the 90s. You had the best divas that we look back on now were in that era, and it's not so much because yes, they were great talents, but they wrote great stories for us to remember them with.
Yeah.
Why can't they do that now? You've got a decent sized roster of chicks.
They're lazy.
But yeah, they're using them as a TNA show, and I don't mean T and A.
Yep. We'll jump into the current entrance theme of the week. If I can remember who. Oh, here we go. It's Ryback.
Oh.
And you're back with the Wrestling Roundup, FreeFM 89.0, Grady Hooker and Phid. We'll jump into Raw we left off. Jake the Snake Roberts, second inductee.
Oh, I'm stoked with that. His life's sort of coming full circle now.
Did we all see it coming?
I didn't.
Okay.
I actually didn't. I thought that they might have done the Raw, old school Raw thing. Good pop for him. But I did wonder whether it's too soon for him. I mean, he's only, a year clean?
Yeah.
They've obviously got a lot of faith in him and Diamond Dallas Page's work.
Yeah, I think Diamond Dallas Page earned, not just on his career, but on the fact that he could get guys like Hall and
He's
Roberts.
putting a lot of effort into these guys. Massive kudos to him. And I think Jake actually fully deserves this.
Yeah.
And as a kid, I loved Jake the Snake.
Fair enough.
I grew up on him. And to see him, I watched all the docos on him as well.
Yeah.
Seeing what he'd become, and then seeing him return on Raw, and then the induction. Good on him.
Okay. The main event was a 6-man tag match to see which 3 would join the Chamber, but the Wyatts stopped the Shield from winning.
Yeah, what's going on there?
Well, I thought we all were leading towards a Cena Wyatt thing.
Yeah.
But are the Wyatts turning into the next Shield, just interrupting matches?
Well, I'm wondering whether we're going to start seeing a Shield, them sort of going at each other.
I know at the start of
3-on-3.
SmackDown they were quite annoyed, and Triple H actually set that 3-on-3 for the Chamber.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, will it tide over to WrestleMania? Or?
That's what I mean. Is like the Chamber's sort of, this is the in-between. We're coming into sort of going to define what's going to happen at Mania.
Yeah.
This is something that probably could go right through.
Off the top of my head just right now, could we see Cena getting his revenge and screwing over the Wyatts, leading to the Shield beating them, still heading into Wyatt-Cena territory?
We could do.
Just a
I
random thought.
love a good
Anything can
left field.
happen.
And look, we were just saying off here, going into this year's Mania, it does actually feel like anything can happen this year, and it's the first time it's felt like that for a while.
Well, anything can happen. Well, Cesaro did get into the Chamber.
Yeah, who saw that one coming? Cesaro.
Well, when you set the match between Ziggler and Cesaro, a little obvious, but pre that match,
you would never have thought that you would have seen Cesaro. I mean, he's always been very much a B player recently.
Yeah.
He's got the makings of being an A player. I don't think so with the gimmick he's got. We're gonna have to. I think we're gonna have to. We'll see a repackage in the next few months.
Do we think we'll see a swing in the Chamber?
Possibly. We've got a lot of good guys in that Chamber.
Yeah.
A lot of good guys. It's stacked to one side, so I think somebody's going to swing.
Jack Swagger, his tag team partner, actually failed to get into the Chamber on SmackDown in favour of the returning Christian.
Yeah.
So, it's another good guy in the Chamber. What is that? That's 4 out of 6.
Yeah, but he's also someone who's known to turn quickly as well.
He did cut a promo right after winning, saying that he's desperate to get back in the title hunt.
Yeah.
So, maybe he's desperate enough to
turn again.
Never know.
Last time we saw him as a bad guy, it was in that title hunt.
Yeah.
He wanted one more run, one more shot. So we'll see.
I think he got it too.
Yeah, no, he got it about 5 months in a row, I think.
We actually saw also on SmackDown the breakup of another tag team, Primetime Players.
Yeah.
What is up? We talked about it earlier. They're just splitting all their best tag teams.
Yeah, we've got the makings of a great division, and then we're just going to kill it.
Hopefully, at least something came out of it. So, at least the two, because Titus and Young are actually quite decent talents.
They're awesome talents. They're both great fighters. They're both physically able to be packaged as good individual fighters as well as a great tag team. And we'll see what happens. Hopefully he's getting a push.
Hopefully they both get something. Wasn't it a little while ago that everyone was calling Darren Young John Cena's long-lost brother or something?
Yeah.
So
I think there was a racial slur added in there as well, or reference, but
I sort of cut that out.
Yeah.
But, so he's clearly got the look.
He does have the look. He does have the look, and I'll throw this out there as well. We have never had a openly gay champion.
I don't think he won any titles yet either, has he?
No. So maybe this is the angle they're going to take, is let's get a decent strap on him, whether it's going to be the US title or the Intercontinental, and he'll be the first openly gay champion in the WWE. We've already seen them getting pushed as a great black tag team.
Yeah.
We've already had, some amazing guys. I'm trying to word this very politically. Yeah. We've had some amazing black champions. There we go.
Yeah.
But we haven't seen an openly gay one.
Fair enough.
It'd be a good move publicity-wise for the WWE.
I thought they were going to go with that with the tag team titles. I thought they'd give it to them.
I think if they're going to do it, they're going to have to do it as an individual title. To put the focus purely on him. It would have taken away from Titus if they had done it and focused on Darren.
It would have been a lot easier had the big gold belt still be floating about.
Exactly.
But with them unified, all of these high mid-card talents are getting bottlenecked because they can't get up there.
Yeah, and rumour has it we're going to see another unification coming soon.
Don't. We're just not gonna.
No, we're not gonna go there. Okay.
We'll let you rant though, because looking at it, we got about 2 minutes left on the show.
Oh, good. I've been wanting to have this.
So I'll just count you down.
Who are the the one person we haven't seen on either two shows.
Zack Ryder.
No, didn't we see Zach?
I don't think we saw Zack.
Oh, okay, not even a backstage segment. No, okay, we had a great Rumble. It had great moments. The standout moment being, of course, CM Punk, number one entry, made it almost to the end, and he got taken out by Kane.
Yep.
Why didn't we see anything on Raw?
I think we all assumed it was going to be Kane Punk at Elimination Chamber and then Punk Triple H at...
Or something like that. Or something along the line. Something CM Punk versus the Authority. I mean, we've since found out that Punk has possibly left.
Possibly.
The story out there, of course, that he has picked up his ball and gone home. He's packed a sock with the WWE, or the WWE haven't given him what he deserves. Depends on which side of the fence you are sitting on. And we're all sort of sitting there questioning because the WWE hasn't acknowledged it at all.
No.
They haven't tweeted about it. They haven't made a public announcement. Usually in this sort of situation, if it is official, they put something on their website saying they've come to terms, especially with an A player like CM Punk, and we've had nothing. Although they have removed him from almost everything.
Yeah.
They've removed him from all the advertising for the upcoming shows. They've removed him from some of the advertising on the website. This week they made him number 7 on the rankings.
Yeah.
You know, so there's putting doubt in our minds that, okay, maybe Punk is still here. So, is he part of the show or isn't he? What do you think?
I'd say that he's gone, and if they somehow convince him to come back, they'll turn it into an angle. But
Yeah.
I think he's out.
I think he's out as well. I think he has left, but I also think it's not forever.
Yeah.
I think we may see him gone for a month or so.
He's making his statement.
He's making his statement, and he's taking a well-deserved break. The guy's been working his ass off over the last 2-3 years.
Fair enough.
Since the pipe bomb, the guy's worked hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I... Yeah.
Alright. Well, you've run over your time by about 30 seconds.
Well, there's more going to be on the website anyway.
Yeah. Phid's going to write up an article. Probably a couple of the other guys will contribute as well.
Yeah.
Either way, it's been great talking to you.
Awesome. It's been good being back on the show finally.
And in birthdays this week, we got the rocker Marty Jannetty. He's turning 54. The Motor City Machine Gun, Chris Sabin, turning 32. The Queen Bee, Madison Rain, 28. And the Ascension member, Connor, turning 34. In a New Zealand recap, we had a couple of shows last weekend. We had NZWPW's Bringing the House Down 36 at the Hotoya Combat Zone. It was Champion's Choice, so all the titles are on the line. The 2020 Experience managed to retain their NZWPW Tag Team Championships against Hayden Thiel and Jade Priest. Mount Silver managed to defeat Bryant. Rough Guts Roddy Gunn with his mate Dreamcatcher defended his SCW Championship successfully against 3G Cade Morgan. Scarlett, who we've had on the show before, managed to defeat Misty, but only via DQ to retain her KPW Women's Championship. Axel is now the number one contender for the NZWPW Championship after defeating Adam Avalanche, and in the main event, Ben Mana defeated Mikey to still be the NZWPW Champion. For IPW, they had the good, the bad, the ugly at the Linfield Rec Centre on Saturday. The show opened up with the IPW Tag Team Championships on the line. The Agents of Change from the Investment managed to easily defeat Liam Fury and Mason Daniels. Then up next we had a 2-on-2-on-2 elimination tag team match to win the number one contendership to those titles, and TNT managed to defeat the team of Pirate Burns and Joel Clementson and the team of Liger and a debuting Brooke Duncan. Then we Evie, who is also a part of the investment, is off in Japan right now with the IPW Women's Championship, so they decided to crown an interim champion until Evie gets back. And Brittany took on Olivia Shaw, and after one hell of a match, Brittany ended up getting the interim championship. Then we had a last man standing match between James Shaw and Kurt Chaos, which James Shaw came out on top of. And then in quite a sad moment, we had Kingy's last ever match. Kingy's quite a staple of New Zealand professional wrestling, and it was quite a sad thing to see him go, although he did win his last match against Liam Fury. and I think the crowd embraced him quite a bit there. And the title match for the main event, the IPW Championship, Vinny Dunn of The Investment lost to Travis Banks, thanks to a little bit of help from The Investment, the O, Kingy, bit of everybody. And Travis Banks is our new IPW champion. So let's see what happens at the upcoming pay-per-view, their upcoming show. I think it's on March 22nd. I'll check it and come back later. So that's it for Wrestling Roundup this week, FreeFM 89.0. You can visit our Twitter page, twitter.com/WrestlingRadio, or our Facebook, facebook.com/Wrestling Roundup Radio, or our website, wrestlingroundup.host22.com. You can see all of our articles about, Josh does one on The Streak of The Undertaker, Brandon does one on NXT Talent, we all do one where we draft some superstars like fantasy football, and we also all do a roundup of the week's news and give our opinions on that. So that's it for this week, Wrestling Roundup, FreeFM 89.0, and I'll see you next week.